Thank you for asking the question. It gives me an opportunity to explain this particular transaction. See, this transaction was for to establish an abode for the Karmapa so that he could carry on his functioning. Out here he's a guest, you know. Now you can see very well that even our presence here and this little conference is disturbing the monks. These monks are very serious tantric practitioners. So it is in his mind to find his own little place where he can do his own thing. So he was, the monastery was negotiating for land. It was valued at, when the deal was made, it was 2.5 lakhs. 2.5 crores, I'm sorry. 2.5 crores. Now, this was sometime in the month of October. Some people have said this is Benami, So let me explain this. Now, for a non-Himachali, non-agriculturist to purchase land in Himachal Pradesh, there is the Himachal Pradesh Land Reforms Act. Under Section 118 of the Land Reforms Act, you have to apply to the government and seek the approval of the governor to be able to purchase that land. So you have to apply. So an application was made to the DC, because first it goes to the DC. And two things are sought at the initial stage. One is an essentiality certificate, and the other thing which is sought is a NOC, an objection certificate. Now, both of these were granted by the government, and the application was made by the trust. Out of in the agreement to sell, which is on record, in the agreement to sell, it was stated that we would get the approval by December. So there was a 3-month period, October, November, December, perhaps in 3 months, and ended sometime in December. So 3 mahine pehle. Now, this permission under 1118 was not received in its totality. It was being processed, and we are told it was being favorably considered. Right? 75 lakhs was paid out of the trust funds. The trust at the beginning of this financial year had about 90 lakhs, and it had sufficient money to pay for this. So 75 lakhs was paid by the trust when the seller said that I want 1 crore rupees in cash. Now, gentlemen, I don't want to tell you what the sellers do, what they declare. I do not know. But he wanted it in cash. Now, as far as the buyer is concerned, the buyer is within his right under the income tax law to acquire any capital asset by payment in cash. There is a specific provision under the Income Tax Act. So when he demanded this for me, I checked with my accountant. He said, you can pay in cash. Now, your question being, what was the source of these funds? Okay. In the month of December, if any of you follow the Karmapa's movement, in the month of December, he was in Bodh Gaya. In the Bodh Gaya, there is something called the Gyuto Monastery, which is a rather large event, attended by many, many people from many, many countries. At this event, this money was collected and receipts were issued by the Office of Administration, which is the Labrang. So the Labrang collected this money. And when the money was demanded by the seller, then since this cash was not available with the trust, but he said, I want it only in cash. I will not take a check. So then the Labrang made this payment of 1 crore to the seller's representatives in Delhi, who've been arrested, by way of cash. Under Section 10, I can do this. I did it. You see, now it is the lookout of the seller. It is the lookout of the seller, whether, as to how he explains this to the tax authorities. But I was within my rights, so I have up till now paid 75 lakhs out of 2.5 crores by check. And I can demonstrate that the funds are available to the trust. And I have paid, and the Office of Administration of the Karmapa, which is the Surfu Labrang, has paid 1 crore in cash, and we have the receipt for that. I have the receipt. I'm sorry. So one more. Can we just finish off with it? Just one more. Sorry. I'm sorry. We'll come back to you.
That 1 1 crore which is consecrated at Una was not yours, that was the seller's money.
No, absolutely not.
Since you had
This
handed
is.
over to the seller in Delhi.
I'm sorry. I have here a receipt in my hand which the two representatives of the seller have executed. It was this money, 1 crore, was paid by me in Delhi to them. They were transporting it from Delhi.
But
Why he produced a fake certificate?
See, I think this is. I am not that man. This is the seller's representative. Your question is best asked to him, not to me.